Ndị be ka ụbọchị nketa amara na anyị na mma anyị sị ka nkonye chiri ya selu dịka o si dị ebe anyị si na-etere ya bụ ozi n'ụbọchị uruchi nketa bụ Eastern News 24 ka anyị si na-etere ya bụ ozi ihe bụ gbasara maka ya bụ ife n'ime n'obodo nọ n'ime ya ndị nwere ụwa na-azụ n'ala Igbo anyị na-ekwusi ọ bụla nke anọ bụ osis gị na-esere ekebalụ ketụsa ya bụ ozi akụkọ nke anyị wetara n'ụbọchị nketa and news update nke anyị wetara n'ụbọchị nketa bụ according to the Biafran activist. As he quote, during the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's last court on May 2nd, I think, there is something that's happened. Please, Biafrans, I want you to pay this attention to this clip. Pay good attention. What if one of the Biafran analysis experts unveiled that is going to blow your mind? You have important update because the woman against it. Don't you ofuma no lawyer be here. And kabaru keto saya bozi korutu muna and ozo aka Biafrans need to know what is really happening. Yes, everybody need to know what is really happening. All right, over to you, sir.
On the 22nd of May 2025, during Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's court trial, Justice Omotosho made a declaration on that day. That declaration was meant to set the pace for what would be a turnaround in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's court case and the administration of justice thereof. In this video, I'm going to be reading out what I call the Justice Omotosho declaration. That declaration he made on that day and the procedures he chose to adopt to see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's court case to an end. The reason why I'm bringing up this declaration is because of the turn of events that happened immediately that declaration was read out in the court. As Biafrans, we are stricter to details and we keep records a lot. Many people do not know that, but Ndi Igbo are a very intelligent people. I was going through Nnamdi Kanu's court trial from the beginning of Omotosho's takeover, and what I noticed and what I discovered will shock you. But first of all, let me read out the Omotosho declaration of 22nd May 2025 in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu court trial. And when I come back, you will understand why I am doing this video. So whatever you're doing, I advise, stop it, focus on this video, or you can as well go and finish it up and come back and watch this video, because you don't want to skip a bit of it. So sit down and relax, for this is Justice Omotosho's court declaration on 22nd of May 2025. I'll read. On that fateful day, Omotosho, during court trial, made this declaration. He said, referring to the prosecution now, he said, I will give 6 days, and within that 6 days, you gather your witnesses, and if you don't deliver, I will close your case and move over to the defense. He continued, I put this case on accelerated hearing, and I have my reasons. I want this case closed as soon as possible. The defendant, Nnamdi Kanu, has been in detention for long. Soon, the court will vacate and the defendant will still be in detention. I will give 6 days for you to call all your witnesses, whether they are 500 or whether they are 1,000 or whether they are 1 million. Work with this time frame. As you are enjoying yourself, remember that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention away from his family. So I want to end this case as soon as possible. I granted accelerated hearing and it's 3 months already. This is not accelerated hearing. That was Justice James Omotosho declaration of 22nd May 2025. The only declaration he made throughout Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's court trial. But he did not end there. Justice Omotosho additionally gave out the 6 exact days that the court is going to hold and come to an end. He specified these days, and I will also read out for you the days Omotosho gave out as the days he is going to tolerate the prosecution to finish their case against the defense. The days he gave out are these: 1. May 28th, May 29th, June 6th, June 16th, June 18th, and June 19th. These were the days he set out to conclude Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. Now, to the part we have been waiting for. This declaration made by Justice Omotosho, in the eyes of everyone that witnessed it, and those listening back at home, and those in court, saw a judge who was ready, who was prepared to administer justice, who was emotionally attached to the plight of the defendant, who was an embodiment of integrity, an embodiment of empathy, characteristics that are the hallmark of any judge around the world. That was what Omotosho displayed in court on that day. Everybody went back home happy that perhaps the day has come that Nigeria will shock people that there are still judges in the country who still are worthy to be called judges. But unfortunately, something happened along the line. Unfortunately, that declaration of Omotosho left so much to be desired, as none of it was obeyed. None of the 6 court days was followed to the letter. The declaration made showing empathy to Kanu's plight and his desire to administer justice failed woefully, as it was from that moment that the justice kept on postponing and postponing and postponing up till this day. As I speak to you, Nnamdi Kanu's court case has not been concluded, despite the federal government closing its case as far back as June 19th. Now, after Justice Omotosho's declaration, the federal government lawyers and the prosecution sped up the witnesses, did exactly what Omotosho asked, and brought the case to the point Omotosho wanted because of the ultimatum, because of the declaration that Omotosho gave them, and thereby closing their case, despite the fact that they may have still had 1 or 2 witnesses they may have needed to bring to the court for their case. That was the federal government lawyers. Also, the defense also did their cross-examination where necessary, knowing very well that they had limited time. As Omotosho had read the Riot Act in that declaration, everybody was just on their toes because they did not want to be the one that will be defeated based on technicalities. But what happened after this? This case closed on the 19th of June, the exact day the federal government closed the case. Omotosho said that he wants to give justice because this man has been in the dungeon for years, and even said in the statement that the federal government lawyers should rush because it is not fair while they are in 5-star hotels, while they are enjoying themselves, while somebody's father, that's the word he said, somebody's father is still in the dungeon. But what did he do? What has he done till today? This is August. The last day was on June. What did he do? What? First of all, he adjourned the case to July. And when July came, he adjourned the case again till October. That is what he did. That's what he did. Now, this is what I want to say. That court declaration was a hoax. It was a fake. It was a psychological game played to show a man who was empathetic on a cause that he was never empathetic for in the first place. It showed also that there are loopholes in his administration of justice. It also showed Like I said in a video, and there are people, there are forces who may be behind the scene, pulling the strings, and he's playing the games with them. This is exactly why the American government came out to say that some judges are going to face sanctions. It is because of illegalities like this that the government of America declared it. So I brought out this Omotosho declaration for we to know that that was the day this whole case turned upside down. Because before that day, the case was going well. And we remember, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers were on their toes. They were giving the federal government bass, winning them court after court, victory after victory. Even the trial within trial was a victory. But what happened? It looked like the evil eye saw that Nnamdi Kanu was on his way to victory. And they felt the only way to slow him down was to give him a sense of victory, but snatch it from him by stressing him in the prison. By stressing him in the cell. A cell that he's not supposed to be in the first place. Why did Justice Omotosho not give judgment on July? Why? What was holding him from giving that judgment? As far as I'm concerned, the judge is the be it all and the end it all. What stopped? What happened? What is the reason? Because the job of judiciary is to administer justice. And if it means them taking a break to do it, they will do it to make sure that somebody who is suffering from injustice goes home. So Omotosho had no right. Omotosho had no right empathetically to stress this case the length of time it had carried out ever since the day he made that declaration. That was the time he should have known that this case should end. How can you make a declaration and renege on the declaration you made? How can you turn your hand back on your own declaration? How can you say a word until today we are yet to see that word you made? You made that word on 22nd of May. Today is August, May, June, July, and August. And you say by yourself that you wanted this case to be accelerated, but the federal government lawyers are dragging it. Now, who is dragging the case? Who is dragging the case? Insincerity is the hallmark of the Nigerian government. They are never sincere in anything they do. If you have any issue with them, the only person that can save you is God. And most times, the only word they understand is either protest or a very loud voice. In Nigeria, if you keep quiet, you have lost your case. Despite the fact that that case may be favoring you. But if you do not come out, you have lost your case. That is why I always tell Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, you cannot just keep quiet and claim that justice will come because the arm of justice is long, but will surely come. Not in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you can lose a case because you are quiet. That is how it works here. And I'm so ashamed that this country has been like this for a very long time. And in fact, it thrives on illegality. A country that does not want to change the electoral system because the person in power feels that by doing so, he is not sure he will win the election. That shows you. That is the kind of country that we are living in. That is the kind of country that Ndi Igbo are sharing with. A country that does not prioritize merit. A country that prioritizes ethnicity, bigotry over merit. How can that country go forward? A country that deceives its own citizens to believe a word but goes back and does something else. A country that the sitting judge, who is supposed to be empathetic towards defendants, doesn't even care. Doesn't even care. You said that this was the federal government lawyers who were the ones who are going to enjoy themselves, and they should remember that Nnamdi Kanu is in the cell. But the way it sits now, it looks like you are the one, Omotosho, who is actually enjoying yourself while Nnamdi Kanu is in the dungeon. I'm so ashamed because a word of a man is supposed to be his bond. It's supposed to mean something. But unfortunately, we should have known Nigeria itself is a British contraption controlled by the British for the British interest and will always be like that. I am still saying release Nnamdi Kanu immediately, because this man has done nothing wrong but to fight for his own people and stand for the injustice that he is even passing through even now. In the full glare of the whole world, he is being held against his human rights. He is being maltreated. He is being frustrated despite court judgment that has ruled in his favor. He is still being kept against his will. He is still being tortured. He is still being bullied. Cowards, you are cowards. You all are cowards. You all are cowards. Just one man did not carry a gun. But all of you are surrounding him like you have caught Osama bin Laden. I'm so ashamed. Like you have caught Osama bin Laden. Even one gun you did not find with him. Yet, you are covering him like you have caught a hired criminal. When you bring him to court, look at the way all of you are gathering around him, even in the midst of court. You don't even trust your security system. A security man don't trust yourself as security man. You are still afraid with all the security that is going to escape. Nigeria did prison, but don't trust their prison enough to house Nnamdi Kanu. You don't trust your own prison. You don't trust your prison. What do you trust? What do you trust? Even in the DSS dungeon, I'm sure you don't even trust yourselves when you take turns. It's a pity. It's a pity. I'm calling upon the UN. I'm calling upon the EU. I'm calling upon the ECOWAS. It is important that you know that this is a heavy injustice being carried out on indigenous people. These are the reasons people fight for self-determination and referendum and breakaway. These are the reasons. The reasons were being that people are being kept because of their nationality, because of their ethnicity. They are being profiled every day. And something has to be done about it. Because everybody has a right to belong where he wants to belong. If people have a right to belong to any political party they like, people should also have a right to belong to any identity and country they be like. What is Nnamdi Kanu's crime? That he decided to be his own man. That he decided to fight for his own country. That he spoke against the ills in society. That he exposed illegalities happening in the country. That he said things to educate the people. How is that a crime? We are complaining that when the white man came to Africa, that the white man committed atrocities. Now, Africa has been handed over to the black man. And look at what the black man is doing. Look at what the black man is doing. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And Kanu always said it. And the problem of a black man is a black man. And the black man is very wicked. An African, a black man is very wicked. He said it. He said it. Did he lie? Did he lie? Supporters family around the world, let's keep it cool and calm, calculated. The day of freedom has come. The time.
Kefi wori ku gbasta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile aji maka webe n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nkata dịka isi kwunu nkwa. Na gị na-ewetere ya bụ update gbasta maka nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ ndị na-eme n'obodo nọ n'ime ya. Unu anụgo n'iko osi gbata wee kwuru. Anyị ga-alapụ unu ka unu rie atụ ya bụ ife aji maka ya webe n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nkata. Ka anyị mara ifu nche n'ụdị nke unu. Mgbanụ ka emesịa n'ụmụnne m.